Hey folks, Dan back from Maryland with a few comments today on the Choyong LC90. Now, those of you who purchased the radio this year, perhaps back in 2023, know that it really does provide some decent shortwave reception capabilities, but combined with the ability to listen to the thousands of stations that are available on the global internet. So this is really a very special radio, and we owe thanks to Choyong and to the key designer there for continuing to issue these firmware updates, the latest of which, as everyone knows, is 4.6. It's brought a number of improvements. Before that, of course, we had the addition of single sideband to the radio. But that is where I want to discuss a few things today on the issue of SSB on the LC90. Now, I've been involved with Choyong since early 2024 in giving them advice on the radio, trying to help them along. And this was well before the radio had single sideband, which people started to clamor for when the radio came out. You know, they said, listen, you really need to put SSB in this thing. We can't listen to amateur operators using a single sideband. We can't listen to other stations using SSB. So Choyong went ahead and actually implemented SSB, but did so through firmware, through software, not through changes in the essential circuitry of the LC90. And this is really important for everyone to understand. So let me just read you some some comments that I got from Choyong earlier this year. I think this was back in April. In the discussion about single sideband. And this was directly from the designer of the Choyong LC90. So again, back in April, the designer said that he highly appreciates and agrees with suggestions. He says, when the LC90 was initially designed, it was not considered for American customers, nor did we appreciate the significance of single sideband. Since in China, due to government's restrictions, disapproval of private radio stations, no users have a need for SSB. And he goes on, he says, therefore, when designing the LC90, Choyong did not include an additional frequency generator. The current SSB function is entirely implemented through software, which based on the current circuit structure already delivers the best performance possible. So, let's review that again. SSB was implemented solely through firmware change, which is why those of you who have used SSB on the LC90 know that it's less than satisfactory. It's certainly nothing that can compare to Texan receivers like the H501. The PL990, even the PL368. Back to April. In the future, Choyong said, it might add a feature to keep single sideband on the same frequency as AM, but there's no room for further performance improvement. This limitation, they said, is due to the frequency accuracy issue of the 4735 processor chip. To achieve the effect of the PL990, in other words, to bring the LC90 closer to the capabilities of a Texan receiver, a frequency generator must be added. The circuit design for this would be straightforward. It's just that they hadn't considered the need for SSB in the future of the LC90. This is where they got into some discussion of the future model that is planned after the LC90. And in the design for the LC100, which we understand probably will not be out until sometime in 2025, that frequency generator that he was discussing should be able to achieve the zero beat, this is back to the discussion in April, and the tone change when approaching the frequency. Additionally, reception performance of medium wave and screen interference are actually the same issue. He says, when I can resolve the screen interference, the reception performance of medium wave would also improve. Anyway, so the headline here is the headline here is this. Based on that information as of April this year, I don't think there should be any expectation of single sideband approaching the level that one would find on a Texan H501 PL990, even on a PL880 in the LC90. It's just not built for single sideband reception, and I highly doubt that they would start modifying the internal circuitry of the LC90 ahead of the new model that's due to come out in 2025. So we've been surprised in the past. We didn't think that SSB could be added at all to the LC90, and they did come up with the firmware fix. But again, as all the users of the LC90 know, it's really, really bad SSB performance. You can't really tune SSB lower, upper. It really is a very frustrating feature to use. And again, it's implemented through firmware alone. So I just wanted to provide everyone with that clarification. Again, based on my information, SSB is something that if you really want it, need it, use it, you're going to have to wait until the LC100 or whatever the new model is going to be called in 2025 to have that level of performance. Now, in the 4.6 firmware upgrade, we've had a number of improvements. There's still some issues with global internet radio stations. Some are not, are not connecting. The URLs are not working, and Choyong has shown itself to be very, very committed to its buying public in taking in questions and complaints and people pointing out certain stations that haven't been heard in terms of the internet section of the radio. My hope personally would be that the future version of the LC90 would attain the kind of internal circuitry level that you already see in Texan H501 and PL990. But again, that's something you're going to have to wait. We're all going to have to wait until next year, likely, to be able to see. All right, I just want to get those comments out to you. Thanks for listening. Please like the videos, subscribe to the channel, and hope to have more information for you as I receive it.